Peace to the world. We are in the new Black Wall Street. Yes, I said new Black Wall Street inside of Star Status, which is a store that represents athletics and inner me.
Welcome to Star Status store. It is the home of inner me and athletics. Inner me is all about crystals, crystal jewelry. We customize the jewelry in the store if you want us to. We have bracelets, earrings, necklaces, and then with athletics, we have the world's first conscious sportswear brand.
Created sports logos and put it on sports apparel. So you can see right here, we have Mansa Musa on the basketball shorts. We also have the ancient Egyptian Kemetic Herus on football jersey, tackle twill, captain's tag, heavyweight mesh, all quality material, authentic sports apparel. And y'all come see us at the new Black Wall Street Star Status store on Choctaw Street. Peace.
Okay, the food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grid, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rap. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our facts. We ain't did it, but what we had.
Facts, I talk factos, ask J babe, I go Astro. Floating focused on my cash flow, we plant star seeds to make the grass grow. I'm a refloater, I do what I wanna. In the winter, sunbathe in the summer, my chakras align and shock 'em like Blanco. Only hope we acknowledge a nigga is Paulo.
At these events, I'm a god to my people. Got out the streets, yeah, we dodging a Rico. Game of roulette, I'm a casino, the game wasn't fair, yeah, the odds wasn't equal. Squad got the Chico, my squad got the Chico. Game in a drought, yeah, they starving the people. Blaming the doubt, make it harder to eat, yo. Not a placebo, this not a placebo.
The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grip, stacking these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rap. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up what we had. Facts, facts.
Started in Richmond, art of my district. Heart of the mystics, started for biscuits. Father the isfits, martyr the misfits. God is my witness, God on my hit list. Moving the weight, we started with fitness. Moving with state street, art of the richest. Give me the blues, my heart is in Memphis. It's part of adventure, started my venture. The F is for food, the A is for art. The C is for clothes, I'm playing my part. T is for check, I'm playing it smart. S is for shelter, I stay in the park. Acres on acres, get lost in the dark. We playing a part, we playing it smart. Facts, facts, okay.
Oh nah, fuck that. We gotta play that back. I thought the mic was. Play that back, bro.
To this day, to this day,
Come on now. Hit that like button. Y'all stop playing with me, man. Fuck out of here.
Okay.
Go.
The food, the art, the clothes.
What?
We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grid, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it underneath the rap. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up what we had. Facts,
and that's facts though, I talk factos, ask J babe, I go Astro. Floating focused on my cash flow, we plant star seeds to make the grass grow. I'm a refloater, I do what I wanna. Stack in the winter, sunbathe in the summer, my chakras align and I shock 'em like Blanco. Only hope we acknowledge a nigga is Pablo.
At these events, I'm a god to my people. Got out the streets, yeah, we dodging a Rico. Game of roulette, I'm a casino, the game wasn't fair, yeah, the odds wasn't equal. Squad got the Chico, my squad got the Chico. Game in a drought, yeah, they starving the people. Blaming the doubt, make it harder to eat, yo. Not a placebo, this not a placebo.
the food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the eco. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grand, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Found out the hacks, put it in the rap. Facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. We in your city, pull up where we at.
Wait.
Started in Richmond, art of my district. Heart of the mystics, parted for biscuits. Father the isfits, martyr the misfits. God is my witness, God on my hit list. Moving the weight, we started with fitness. Moving with states, we art of the richest. Give me the blues, my heart is in Memphis. It's part of adventure, started my venture. The F is for food, the A is for art. The C is for clothes, I'm playing my part. T is for tech, I'm playing it smart. S is for shelter, I stay in the park. Acres on acres, get lost in the dark. We playing a part, we playing it smart. Facts, okay.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
How, Sway? The fuck? How? What we doing? Where we at with it? Talk black to me, huh? The food, dog, the clothes. You better play in your role. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes, nigga. Wait. All we trying to do is expose the Vatican. These niggas is in their feelings. What we talking about? Talk black to me. Shout out to the family. Shout out to you and yours. Yeah, we back. I got my motherfucking sound system back. You niggas is in trouble. How about that? Yeah. Facts. The remix with a Cambada. Okay. That part. That part. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the roll call so we could get into this shit tonight. God did. I couldn't go live yesterday for the Melanin Monday. Pardon me, I'm just getting my voice back. It would have sounded so horrible. I even attempted to go to the studio and record, and that shit sounded like you don't want to know. But yeah, my voice is back. We in the building. You know what I'm talking about? We in the motherfucking building. We here. We gonna do this recap and we gonna have a conversation and whatnot. Yeah, real talk. This show is sponsored by Hip Hop Rap Tea. That part. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Hip Hop Rap Tea. Your man is on the tea right now. Talk black to me. I know why they mad, my nigga. I know why they. I know why they mad. Niggas got teased. Yeah, this show is sponsored by Hemp Laid Hip Hop Rap Tea. You know what I'm saying? The first motherfucking rap tea to put the legends on a motherfucking beverage. You know the game is over after that one, right? How about that? You can wash down your rap snacks with the rap tea. If you got a store, get at me. If you got a storefront, get at me, brother. Get at me, dog. Hey, if you got a storefront, you ready to carry the pillar tea, get at me, dog. You feel me? We leveraging up, man. We doing big things. I know why they mad. Mystical Philly in the building. I see you. West Palm Beach in the building. I see you. Denver, all right. Charlotte, what's popping? Okay. Yeah, we need 3 remixes. We surely do. But you got to be in your bag to be on the facts. You got to be in your bag. So everybody that's in your bag, yeah, talk black to me. What's in the tea? CBD. There's a bunch of nutritional stuff in here. You know what I'm saying? There goes the, we'll read it in a minute. You see me? You see me? We got the whole rundown. It ain't no fucking sugar in there. I know that much. Sweetened with agave. Killian, Texas. Keep killing shit. Texas by way of NOLA. North Kakalaka. Yes. Austin, Mississippi, Toronto, Boston. Oh, you see? Okay. What's goody? All right. Was really good. Spartanburg. Shout out to Spartansburg. Yeah, ain't no sugar in this tank. How about that? You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no sugar in this tank. Maybe some agave. Delaware, all right. Queen City, Charlotte, Rome. Shout out to Rome. I met two strong brothers from out of Rome at the 9/11, the Stone Mountain charging the crystal and whatnot. That's what we're gonna be. We're gonna be recapping that tonight or today. I'm so programmed. I'm thinking it's nighttime. It's bright as hell outside. It's daytime. We're gonna talk about that today. We're gonna talk about the brother who just passed, PNB Rock. All right. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I was depressed all of yesterday. My energy completely plummeted when I heard that the brother got shot. I don't even know him like that. I don't listen to his music. Hold on, let's do the roll call, real call, because I got to utilize this young man.
Unknown caller.
Who you? Norfolk in the building, Minnesota in the building, Cincinnati in the building. All right, Cincinnati in the building, Florida in the building. You feel me? You got robbed in Spartanburg during spooky hours. Yeah, man, you can't be in a lot of places during the spooky hours, family. You know what I'm talking about? Like that should already be known. We're gonna have to do the 10 block commandments today. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, people are not following these street hood commandments and they getting lined up. And you know, it's sorry to say, it's horrible to see. Capitol Heights, Houston was really good. All right. Shout out to you, Mississippi, Vancouver, Mount Vernon. You know what I mean? Mount Vernon. Houston. Okay. All right. So the family's in the building. We deep. We up in this bitch. It's early in the daytime. Y'all might be on your lunch break or you just might be lollygagging and just chilling and whatnot. But yeah, we're gonna have a conversation today. We're gonna have a good talk. Before we even have this conversation, I got to do my announcements. I hope y'all don't mind that. But you know, we got to pay the bills real quick. So on Thursday, right, which is coming up, which is the 15th, I'm going to be presenting my good brother Al-Kibalon the Don, Al-Kibalon 44. He is going to be presenting his 4th installment of a lecture that he's been doing with this platform ever since 2021. And the name of his lecture that's coming up is called Receipts with a Sweet Technique. All right. Receipts with a Sweet Technique. And people are like, what does that mean? What that means and what that entails and what he's going to be touching on is the fact that the brother has been extremely prophetic with his predictions and with his research over the past year and whatnot. And we have the receipts to prove it. So we're going to have a conversation about what took place over the summer, energetically wise, metaphysically speaking, amongst a few other things, scientific. You know, the brother goes in with the scientific bars. And he's also going to help with the predictions moving forward into the next 3 and 4th quarter as we tap out. All right. As we move forward into the next calendar year, the brother's going to be giving you some insights on how to utilize certain techniques to prepare yourself. Because if you don't think that you need to be prepared moving forward, then you are on the wrong channel. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you, but you probably been out here sleeping at the wheel and whatnot. This is about preparation. This is about having awareness. This is really about acquiring the tools, the cheat codes, my niggas, the cheat codes, the tools that you need to get you motherfucking to the next step by any means necessary, because there's no rules in this game at this point. Nobody's playing by the rules that they sold you. Don't fall for the okie doke, right? And then I'm going to be talking about today, we're going to be getting into the recap of the 9/11 Stone Mountain Sacred Ceremony. Niggas is out here saying that it's a cult. Well, it's the culture, so it might as well be a cult. Cornball. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. What's important and what we want to highlight is the fact that we have a monumental presentation coming up on Thursday, and it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's also going to be recorded. It's only going to be on Zoom and KTLUniversity.com. It will only be online. For all of my KTLians, shout out to y'all. I look forward to seeing y'all in the building. The pull-up game is real strong. The people love the brother Al Kibalon on his platform and the level of information and the bar that he raises with his information. So salute to the God. He may even pull up in a little while to just talk to y'all briefly and whatnot and remind y'all who the fuck he is and what he's bringing to the table. You know what I'm saying? It's very important that we pay homage and we salute our master teachers and our master students while they're amongst us. You know what I mean? Pay homage and show them some appreciation and be in the building when they pull up to teach. Because to be honest with you, our purpose in this community outside of all of this social shit is to teach. If I'm not teaching, you shouldn't even really be seeing me. But we do things like this. We do these shows and whatnot. And ultimately we mix it up with some conversation. You know, this is a vlog. This is like a podcast. And we teaching. But the real teaching takes place in the classroom. The real teaching. So we would go crazy as teachers if we did not have classrooms in order to teach our information. We would go crazy if we didn't have students to share this information with. We would go crazy if we didn't have the venues or the opportunity to go online and to present this information and get it out there and share it and let it grow legs. Because I put the information out, it grows legs, and people bring back an updated version of the information because they go on their journey and the information is non-biased. It's going to do what it does to whoever's holding it. You know what I mean? It's seeking ye shall find. So there's a lot of people seeking and finding, and they bring back these gems. They bring back this research. They bring back these receipts and whatnot, and it builds confidence. It solidifies what it is that we're doing. And ultimately, it helps the student because you build your teacher up, and the teacher is now living in the know. They're not the doers or they're not the thinkers. They're the knowers. They know the ledge. They know that the information is hidden. They know that their prophecies are on point and whatnot. So to everybody that supports their teachers, for everybody that supports the scholars, and not just this quote unquote this cult of personality worship where people are just caught up with people's personality and they just want to bandwagon and whatnot. For those that are serious, the real students that are out there, like the 2% of y'all, I just want to say that y'all are the lifeblood of not my platform. Not speaking for me only. I could confidently speak for the majority of us. The majority of us, we honor and we respect and we pay homage to those of you amongst that take this shit serious. Because like I said a minute ago, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, when all of the play is over, we really seriously here to do the work. And the work entails teaching, right? Because that's what I signed up for. I'm not in front of you as a fucking rapper. I'm not in front of you as a dancer, my nigga. I'm not in front of you as a painter. Those are my hobbies. What I signed up for to be in this space, in this community, or this lane, or sitting in this seat is to be a scholar and a teacher, right? And a conscious creator. I'm not a content creator. I'm a conscious creator. I create consciousness. That's my job. I create consciousness with my demonstration. I create consciousness with my word. I create consciousness with my creations. From the clothing lines, right? When we put the clothing out, right? The clothing is teaching you. It's creating consciousness. You know what I'm saying? The music is creating consciousness. The fucking drip is creating consciousness. Every single reel on Instagram, every single post, everything that we do, everything that I touch turns into consciousness. So everything that I touch turns into gold. And I'm very proud and I'm very I'm honored to be in this space, to be chosen by the ancestors and the master teachers and the pantheon of the great ones to walk in that light. You know what I mean? I'm very grateful. Every day when I wake up, I offer gratitude for being in this space. So I'm a conscious creator. That's what the red pill is. That's what the red pill does. And that's what the red pill been doing since I pulled up and I introduced myself to you niggas. I've been consciously creating a motherfucking wave and a movement unlike anything that's ever been seen on this planet. And it ain't just me. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't just me. But the twin pillars, we've been the pillars to this consciousness since we formed Voltron. and it ain't never gonna stop. You know what I'm talking about? Until I make the conscious decision that, no mas for, I'm ready to pull up and move on and take my talent somewhere else. You know what I'm talking about? So with that being said, yeah, consciously creating. And, this weekend or this strong end was a stamp for me. I sometimes, you never know what's going on with your favorite teachers and whatnot. You don't know what's going on in their minds. You don't know what's going on in their hearts. You don't know what's going on in their spirits and whatnot. So, it would behoove of you to, when you see somebody who you only see through the phone and whatnot, show them some love. And that's exactly what I experienced this weekend. And I say that to say, after going through what I went through by receiving a lot of love, I know how good that feels. So I'm just sharing it with the students that are out there, the people who look at people such as me through these phones, and y'all might realize that we're human beings as well, right? So the love that we emit through these phones and through these computers to you, sometimes it helps when y'all send it back. You know what I mean? That's like, that's called reciprocation. So this week, this strong end, the love was reciprocated very strongly. I'm really just coming down off of a very high note, right? And you know how that is sometimes when you're on a high, the crash is a motherfucker. You feel me? So the crash for me was me just vibrating at a very high frequency, receiving a lot of the love, accepting it, being presently present and whatnot. And then coming across a story of a young man who's 30 years old, who was dining with his wife, and I believe with their seed. I'm not 100% sure if the child was with them, but he was with his wife, and he was in LA, the same LA that I came back and I started talking crazy about, right? And not in a super negative way, but I had to share what the spirit was telling me outside of sounding, like I'm off code, or outside of not being with the program. I had to speak my motherfucking truth. And I had to say, yo, I just came from LA and this is how I'm feeling, right? And this is what I saw, right? I don't want to speculate, but my feelings don't lie. You know what I mean? My intuition is not going to lie to me. And what I'm looking at through my eyes, I was able to do enough research to make sure I wasn't seeing illusions. So I walked through Skid Row. I walked through Skid Row in the daytime and at nighttime with my jewelry out, right? I walked through there. I was receiving downloads, you know what I mean? I took a few pictures because some of the homeless people knew me. You feel me? And I was soaking up a lot of the energy or the spirit that existed in that area. I walked through downtown LA. I was on Spring Street, the same Spring Street where 3 people got killed the day before that I was out. They got killed in a drive-by the day before, right in DTLA, where my brother A.A. Rashid has his office and shit, right on Main, right on Spring. And I was like feeling the energy. I was going into the stores. I was going to the barbershop. Like I was really on some pilgrimage shit in downtown LA for damn near about 4 or 5 days. But I was staying in a multi-million-dollar loft at the same time, right? So I was getting to see both sides of what LA is going through, especially downtown LA. I went into the wholesale district. I saw how the Mexicans have this little Mexico thing going where they're making money fist over dollar and whatnot, selling super duper cheap grade items all the way up to things that could be considered, semi-premium, right? I saw the toy market. I saw the market where they sell all of the Zaza bags, like the weed paraphernalia, the jars, the cigar boxes, everything. I saw it all. I saw the stores where they're selling wholesale shirts, t-shirts, and clothes. I saw the stores where they're selling wholesale toys. I saw the store where they're selling wholesale fabrics. I saw the stores where they're wholesaling flowers. I'm like, yo, how the fuck is there a wholesale district surrounded by homeless people? Like that shit behooves me. But whatever, you know what I mean? Like I'm not here to ask questions. I'm not a politician, so You know, that's some shit that, you know, when you're ready to politic, you ask questions like that. But it's an apparent, the glaring, it's almost like I gotta dumb myself down and play retarded to act like I didn't see what the fuck I saw. And I kind of gotta dumb myself down when I'm in LA and act like this is not deliberate, right? Because it's impossible to have so much wealth surrounding you, right? And you're not getting to it in some type of way. You can't be on that much drugs. I'm sorry. Let's not become excuse. Let's not levy excuses and whatnot. Let's not make excuses for people that are considered to be able-bodied. And when I say able-bodied, it means that you niggas are able to make $1, bro. You able to panhandle. If you could panhandle and shake a cup, my nigga, you could take that same change from a cup, buy some clean t-shirts and sell those. You know what I'm talking about? You could sell some fucking headbands. You could sell some socks, my nigga. You could sell some bags of Zaza with oregano tea in it. I mean, I'm not gonna knock the hustle. I'm just saying we could do more than being a beggar nation. If you wake up early enough on Skid Row, you could plan and plot how to get off of Skid Row just off of hustling from the wholesale market. But that's a whole nother story. You know what I mean? But I was, like I said, I saw both sides, both Americas. I was staying in a $1 million loft inside of an old loft factory building that they converted and regentrified in what they call the art district. Who knows where the art district is in LA? It's a beautiful regentrified area where European people hide in multi-million-dollar apartments and condos and lofts. And right down the block, the shit looks like fucking it's a dystopian. I promise you, Skid Row is a world in another world. It's not part of LA, bro. It is not LA. It's not LA. It's a home. It's a world inside of a world. I don't even know what that world is. Homeless people know that money ain't everything. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? That's why they are, and money is not everything. And nobody said that it is, because I'm damn sure not about to be a motherfucking money cheerleader. But you know what I'm talking about. Let's not do let's not get on this show while the sun is out on a Tuesday and do the conscious tap out. Let's not do the conscious tap out and try to convince me that living below your means and living like a fucking pool butt and a vagabond is honorable on this Tuesday. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna intellectually masturbate, and we're not gonna try to intellectualize laziness. We're not gonna try to intellectualize failure, and we're not gonna try to intellectualize motherfuckers with opportunities, that are not taking them. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. You need money to survive. If you don't have money to survive, chances are you may start stealing and taking from people because you don't have the means to exchange. So if you don't have the means to exchange to get a sandwich, then you be the nigga to get the sandwich and then run away. And you're breaking the cycle of reciprocation because you're not bringing it back, my nigga. And that's not honorable. And we don't deal with dishonor. Okay? We don't deal with that. Let's stop that. Yes, many people could live their life with the bare essentials. The bare essentials is not living on a tent on Figueroa. The bare essentials is not living on a concrete, because these people are living look, man. The bare essentials, right? I know what the bare essentials are. I'm a minimalist. You might not think so, but I'm a minimalist, so I get it. But we talking about the bare essentials versus some other shit, because they still hustling. You go on Skid Row, it's not like they're just fucking on a lawn chair watching the honeymooners and whatnot. No, they're grinding. They're hustling. They're jugging. They're trying to get that crack money. They're trying to get that Zaza money. They trying to get some type of, you know what I mean? They grinding. They doing something. There's some type of hustling going on. You feel me? Women's is selling their body. Men's is selling their body. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-mm. There's a spiritual war on blacks in LA. Oh, you damn right it is. And what I would say, the spiritual war is, the red and the blue versus each other. That's the foundation of the spirit war that I see going down. To be honest with you, and I said it on the show before, the foundation of your poverty, right? The foundation of the poverty consciousness, the foundation of the fact that LA kind of looks, you could feel the murder in the air. You could feel the death you could feel death culture on the walls and whatnot. I could see it I could see it on the architecture. It has a lot to do with the fact that powerful melanated people who live out there will never really come together, and they will never basically unify. And in a place like LA where trillions of dollars is moving around, trillions of dollars, a lot of the homeless people are smart. Yes, they are. They are very smart. They are wise and intelligent. I agree with you, right? But the spirits, the disgruntled spirits who got killed in front of their women, right? They shot that man yesterday in Roscoe's in front of his wife, my nigga, right? You got to draw the line somewhere. You understand? You got to draw the line somewhere. You do not cross certain lines. You don't kill people in front of their wives and their children, bro. It's no, that's not acceptable. That's just it. No, you cross, that's a line right there, my niggas. And once you cross certain lines, you can't come back. So if that becomes the norm, that's crazy. That's crazy. But that war that's going on between those warring factions, and I know the gang culture, the gang wars are not what they was, but just the facts of what they was has kind of like, in my humble opinion, I'm not in a gang. I don't subscribe to your gang culture. I don't want to be in a motherfucking gang. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not from Los Angeles. You know what I mean? I don't, you know what I mean? I wasn't born out there and I wasn't raised out there. I know that there's a lot of politics out there. However, I would humbly ask anybody that lives out there to step back and look at how the certain other classes of people are thriving, right? And striving, and they're not at war with each other. Or even if they're at war with each other, it's not on, they don't carry out war in public like that on Front Street. The police is killing the rappers. Stop for law. Yeah, you think so? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah, that part. There's no money in beef, right? There's no money, not really in war, unless you are the weapons manufacturer, or if you run the funeral parlor, or if you're the bail bondsman. Other than that, we can stop trying to motherfucking justify that there's some type of money in war. The fact that the Mexicans have Little Mexico where they're wholesaling, and this is, they're the cartel and they got gang culture. But when I was in Little Mexico, I didn't feel threatened at all. And niggas is like, yo, the Mexicans hate us and whatnot. I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel like there was a war going on with one Mexican versus the other, which wanted to make me cross the street and go to the other side, which would stop me from spending money with them. I never felt that. I felt like they had what I wanted and I was going to buy it, right? That's what I felt like. That's what I felt like. I felt like when I went to Little Tokyo, AA took me to Little Tokyo, I didn't feel like the Yakuza gang or the triads was out there scheming on my fucking unk, right? I didn't feel like somebody wanted to steal my sneakers and whatnot. I didn't feel like they had a problem with me because I was wearing red. I didn't feel like these two warring factions was about to shut the fucking mall down and we had to run out of there for our lives and whatnot because these niggas was finna start throwing swords at each other. I didn't feel like that in Little Tokyo. When I was in Little Tokyo, I felt like I was in Tokyo. I felt empowered. I felt like creating toys. I felt like reading comics. I felt like a child again, right? So these are just two different nationalities that I saw in Los Angeles and they're making it work for themselves. The Asians and other people, the Hispanics or whatever they call them, they're making that shit work. Our people, right? How many rappers have gone to Los Angeles and lost their lives? How many people have gone to Los Angeles to have a good time or to do some business and never made it out of there? Right? And that was the energy that I was talking about when I went there, because I felt that shit. And I'm like, yeah, this energy is only going to feast on itself. It's not going to get any better until we start talking about it. So I know that there's this whole thing about checking in, right? You got to check in when you come to LA, because the gangs basically want to extort you, right? So to check in, you just choose your gang, Bloods or Crip, whatever the set is that you have affiliation with, and you basically check in, which really is you breaking somebody off so they can move you around, and they can't really protect you like that. They could act like, they're a buffer. They're a buffer, but the drop is the drop. I don't know what part of the fucking world y'all from, but if somebody got the drop on you, they're going to drop you and whoever's with you. I don't give a fuck. Where I'm from in Brooklyn, if a nigga bring you around and we know that, and they knew the nigga, they robbing both of them, and he might get his shit back later, right? But both of that, you getting robbed for bringing the nigga around, just so we don't make it look crazy. But both of them getting robbed. So the check-in thing it leads to extortion, because if I got to check in, I'm basically greasing your pockets. You pulling up, you with me when I'm doing my $1 million deals. You with me when I'm around all of the money in Hollywood or in the hills or whatnot. So eventually they say, yo, let's just get about 30,000 a month. You know what I mean? Make sure you good. That's why you see all of the burglaries happening. The burglaries to the rappers happen when they stop playing the game. Yo, I'm not paying this month. Or yo, I don't have it. All right, boom, we robbing your house. That's that they clean you out. You just got to report it as a burglary, but it's all dealing with the insurance companies and everything. They just get their money off for taking shit out your house, right? They killed Pop Smoke. They killed Biggie. They killed Tupac. These are the gangs that I'm talking about. They killed Nipsey. It's mostly the Crips. And you niggas is still romanticizing gang culture. And they killing all of your rappers. So once again, I'm just sharing that what happened to that young man, right, in front of his whiz was an atrocity. And that shit, it hit me. I don't even know the brother, but it's been told to me he's a Black and Nobel baby. He's from Philly, bro. He wasn't no knuckle dragger. He a Black and Nobel baby. I feel a connection. I don't know where it is, but I feel a connection, right? And there's also a theme that I have to point out. I see you in the building too, King. I'm gonna bring you in 1 minute. There's also this concurrent theme that I keep seeing. And I would say to you, listening to this show, if you're a rapper, you have a better chance of living by not going on Vlad TV and Adam 22, or being, because if you go on Vlad or Adam 22, the chances of you getting murked, that shit elevates about 44%, because there's no famous rapper that got killed and they don't have, and Vlad doesn't throw their video up that he did with them. Think about that. Ain't no rapper that's getting murked and we be like, you don't have a Vlad interview? I've never really seen that, to be honest with you. You know what I'm talking about? I think he even had XXXTentacion. It's academics, it's Vlad, and it's Adam 22. Once they interview you, you are basically on that road, nigga. You're on the highway to heaven. Your motherfucking countdown is coming. Let's not talk about Boozy. Everything around Boozy dies. That he's born on my birthday, so I already, I know what kind of, if he's dealing with that dark scorpion energy, everybody around, they just killed the nigga in Houston that was with Boozy gambling and whatnot. From Chicago, right? Wearing all of his jewelry in Houston. Why do you niggas wear your jewelry in another state and you didn't pay more for your security Then you paid for your jewelry. And why are you niggas wearing all that jewelry? My question is this: who are you trying to impress? If you sitting with a girl, why is you wearing your whole fucking jewelry box? You trying to impress other men. It can't be the women, because I promise you, the women that I know, they not like, it's not like, oh, my panties. The first time I seen him and he had that ring on, I knew he was the one. So y'all wearing all of this jewelry. You niggas got chokers on. You niggas got chandeliers on your ears and whatnot. Who are you trying to impress? The shorties that y'all trying to impress in that circle, they selling the box. So what the fuck are you doing? You could show up with a wooden arc on. If you got the Cash App, nigga, you good. I don't understand. You're trying to impress other men, and that's where the problem lies. That's when the shit starts going topsy-turvy. You're not investing properly, and you're outdated and you're outmoded in this new reset, which is in 2022. Those chains, my nigga, or those rings could have been invested into an estate. It could have been invested into some technology. It could have been invested into some nigga in Bangladesh to build out your blockchain or something. Y'all are not making the right moves. Post Nipsey Hussle, my niggas, and it looks like y'all beginning to suffer. It looks like somebody is smiting you, because it looks like that shit is so played out that you're being smited by a power maybe a little more greater. I'm looking for what the lesson is trying to teach us. All them lab diamonds, that's not it, bro. You're gonna lose your top for that shit. You fare better wearing some motherfucking Moldavite, you know what I mean? Some Ethiopian opal and whatnot, and some goddamn and call it the day. Some amethyst. But wearing all of your grandmother's jewelry, and niggas is wearing pearls and shit around other niggas to impress, because you're not impressing the shorties. I promise you, it's niggas out here working at Chipotle with charm bracelets, bagging the same shorty. How about that? How about that? It don't take no jewelry to bag a baddie. So we got to think about what the fuck we're seeing and whatnot, and what's being shown to us, because this is a vicious cycle. And I'm like, when is it going to end? So I'm just raising a question. Most of these niggas are signing Empire Records, and I find that very funny, very odd. Empire reached out for a distribution deal with me recently, and I was contemplating fucking with it, but I can't, you know what I mean? I'm looking at what's going on, and I'm like, nah, these niggas they're spirit cooking. Something is going on over there. I know that it's a big label. They sign a lot of people because of digital distribution, but fam, the top artists that get knocked off, they're not on fucking Columbia and Universal. Why is that? They all on Empire. Like, what kind of karma this nigga got? Who rules Empire? It's a dude named Kazi. They got a Palestinian, they got an Israeli, and I think like an Indian. It's a whole fucking United Nations over there. You know what I mean? It's the diversity fucking lottery over there. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not going to continue to go on by myself. I have a very important person in the building. You know what I'm talking about? This brother is going to be with us on Thursday, and he's going to be shifting paradigms with the information that he's going to bring. Man, the environment is so, like he calls it, that dialectic field. It's so charged up right now with information and consciousness. Man, what a fucking time to be alive. So without any further ado, I want to open up the line and raise this conversation to a higher level. I'm going to bring in the Don himself. You know him as Al-Kibalan 44.
To this day.
Good brother.
To this day.
Al-Kibalan the Don. Peace to the God. Really
peace to the God, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm doing better. My voice was kind of like gone and whatnot. But as you can see, I had to go ahead and sip on the rap teas and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I had to go ahead and take the cherry and the lime, and that cut through. This is another flavor too, ladies. We got passion fruit. I don't know how many people know Lava, the performer Lava and Free Soul. Yeah, this is Lava right here.
Yeah, that's fire. Yeah.
This is Lava with the passion fruit. You know what I'm saying?
And I seen you, I seen you, Blue. Shout out to Sauce God. Shout out to Sir Bay. Mama Talisa. I seen everybody out there doing their thing. Shout out to everybody.
Father Rich. Yeah, cool.
That was out there. I was speaking about that in our last live where, because like you said, the dielectric field is charged up. It's full of information. And
it's buzzing right now.
It's buzzing.
It's big buzzing.
So we can't get caught up too much, in the physical representation of this quote unquote queen passing away, because when these things happen, the seat is open. And the real royals, when we're talking about royalty, we're talking about blood that has the capacity to radiate. So when this seat is open, the seat and power, the individual who's in that specific seat, emanates their emotions on the land, and that's what dictates the moral compass of the people. So, we as a people have to come together as a body politic, because it's in reference to not only beginning to purge and clean our blood out, so that way we can extrapolate the information in the dielectric field, but we've got to take heed to being our own kings and queens and our personal, experiences. So, we're going to talk about a lot in the lecture on Thursday, about the concept of, what this queen represented and why her seat was so detrimental. And this is all based on electromagnetic radiation. And also, too, of course, why they simulated Washington, D.C. To represent the same aesthetic as Kemet. And it's all in reference to the physical body that's sitting in that specific seat. So, we're going to talk a lot about that, and that's dealing with a granular agreement, with the people or the person, in that seat of office. So, it's a lot going on out here. Rest in peace to PND Rock. I used to listen to him all the time.
So you're familiar with the God like that?
Super
you're
familiar
with his catalog.
Man, familiar. Yeah, I'm familiar with him. So that was a herder when I seen that, and the fact that how he was done is just wild to me. Like in front of the babies and the wife. Like I just
wait. So the seed was there. Don't say that. The baby.
Oh, I don't know. I thought that's what I heard.
I'm hearing that too. I just have to get. I just wanted to get like a cosign on that. I know the wife was there.
Yeah, I know the wife was there.
They was they was in LA celebrating a friend, either a wedding, something to be some type of celebratory event.
Right.
So they were still in that spirit of celebration. Right.
Yeah. So that shit is wild to me. But what you were speaking about, not to bring the conversation, back. But I wanted to hit on that, the fact that, again, like we get so accustomed to, feeling like, and that's what I don't understand is that when we walk around and, try to demonstrate ourselves with jewelry on and like call ourselves trying to impress, the next person, it's like logically it doesn't make sense, especially if you're going into an environment that you're unfamiliar with, what I'm saying? So
you're not in your city.
Right. And it was a robbery, right? It was a robbery.
Yes.
That's what it was. Okay. So, like you said, that's valuable asset that can go to something so much more greater. And, I just don't see the value, but see, then again, that ties into, understanding the value of ourselves as a people, because we love to validate ourselves based on what we have on. Because of course, so much psychological trauma from birth and, centuries of what we've been going through, that pulls on our genetics, that's a trigger, certain things trigger us. So it's like we lose the value of who we are as a people. And instead of validating ourselves based on, where we come from historically and things of that nature, we feel like we got to appease somebody outside of us based on what our clothes and our aesthetic looks like. And that makes us feel, you know, good. That gives us that satisfaction, or, you know, that instantaneous gratification. So, you know, I just want the family to really understand that it's so important to begin to take on higher levels of information, because that's what's going to set you apart from the masses. And when you do that, you do see, you know, a level of self-value within yourself, to where, you know, like Red said before, you know, you make the clothes don't make you. You know what I'm saying? You can put on anything and still represent who you are in totality. You know what I'm saying? So,
Like,
yeah,
I'm walking around with fucking acacia tree around my neck, my nigga. Like,
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
walking around with orgons, like fucking Dragon Ball Z balls around my neck. Like, nigga, like, I don't know what the fuck. I would never have thought I would be doing this shit. Like, if a nigga showed me a picture 20 years ago and it was like, this is you in 2022. Like, we would have been fighting, bro.
But look, it take a lot of niggas courage to really pull that off and do it. You know what I'm saying? And again, it comes from a historical perspective, a historical context. We understand the importance and the power of Akashic beads and certain charms, etc. Like, we understand the science behind it. So that trumps, you know, the weird looks that you might get, you know, the white folks who look at you and turn their heads and make whisper to their husband and like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't mean to cut your wisdom. You know how the shorties with the derrieres be putting the camera in their back pocket and they go into Target and Walmart so they can show you how everybody's staring at their BBL.
Yeah.
I need to go in the airport with a hidden cam, maybe in one of my locks or something behind me, so you could see the face of these pilgrims when I do my perp walk out the fucking airport. That I could time it perfectly. I'll be putting on some things. I'll be getting off the plane and shit. I might put on God did, or I might put on something from Red Summer. And I know I'll be like, the minute I cross through this door and walk through the airport, it's a fucking movie.
It's a movie, me? Bro. Yeah. Nah,
and I
don't mean to cut you off. I get it because naturally, when you walk into those environments, especially if you wear that certain aesthetic, you know, that that mechanism, that it's not a defense mechanism, but it's that natural awareness. It's like, when I walk through this door, I know it's gonna be all eyes on me. So it's like a mental preparation for it. Right. So I get it, bro.
I have to, yeah. So the only thing that I can do in those situations, because, you know, God forbid if I was socially, you know, if I was very awkward socially, like if I couldn't take people staring at me. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that I could do to alchemize that energy is I have to go into my mind. I have to go into my imagination. I'm playing dun 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 dun. I get the fucking Darth Vader instrumentals from YouTube, and I walk through that bitch, and I'm looking at little white children and their mamas in them, and I'm like, you know, the nigga from there's a show on Amazon called Boys, and the superhero his name is what's my nigga Homelander. So Homelander be shooting these red fucking lasers through his eyes and be cooking niggas. So I just be in the airport walking through, dun, 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 dun. I just be cooking the whole white population of shit. Because I look at the airport where they flying to. I be looking at the sign and say Tulsa. I'm like, God did. These crackers going to Tulsa. Oh yeah, they we cooking them. Yeah. They food, nigga. They food. We cooking them.
Yeah.
Right now. 1 minute.
No,
I get it. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah. But no, peace and love to the family. You know, like I said, just to reintroduce the class is on Thursday at 7 p.m. So, you know, those who aren't familiar, tickets are in the bio. You can go and purchase them at Red Pill's bio. But now, we're gonna talk about a lot. For those who follow me on IG, I just put up a really important post in reference to the Queen and that specific seat in reference to power, because when we're talking about power, we're talking about, of course, electromagnetism. So it's not nothing physical. So like I said, when we talk about body politics, we're talking about body polis. and this represents the physical body that sits in that seat of power, because based on the emotions of the king is going to create a dielectric, what you call a dielectric acceleration through the heart, prior or based on the emotions of that person. So they radiate their magnetic field, and that's what inhabits the land. That's what encompasses the land, and that's what gauges the magnetic field of the minds of the people within that land. Because I've always stressed that you can't say compassion without saying compass, and your compass is what gauges the magnetic field. So it's the person, or the most royal blood is the blood of people who are naturally compassionate. And those people are the black body, because the black body is photovoltaic, which means we take light and convert it into bioelectricity, which is voltage. So if you have a high level of voltage, that means your acceleration is intense, which produces a larger magnetic field, which allows you as a people to feel for things. We feel for things. You know what I'm saying? So the idea of feeling the idea of feeling and magnetism, we're gonna get into, a lot. Even if you look into Christianity doctrine, they've removed the feminine principle out of it. Even the name of the book of the Psalms or the songs is named hymn. So hymns and man, everything is masculine, but they had to remove the feminine principle for you to ignore the magnetism, which gives us, the people, the ability to feel. And we are speaking specifically on the people who lack the photoreceptive ability to process light, which gives them a lack of capacity to feel for things. You know what I'm saying? So that was even it's highlighted in all the movies. It's highlighted in even, what's the movie called? Get Out. At the beginning, you got the black dude, I think they hit a deer or something. And, the white girl gets out the car. They both get out the car. And, the white girl is kind of rushing him, like, come on, it's just a deer. And, we're not going to worry about it. We need to get to where we're going. But he takes a little moment and sits and looks at the deer. And he gathers that symbiotic relationship that he has between him and nature, because, again, he feels the pain. So, I thought that was a very because of course that movie is specifically talking about genetics. So that was a very key piece in the moment. Even when he was in the bed, and there was a point where there was like a stuffed lion laying on the dresser, like it was showing him and the lion, and him watching and looking at the lion. But what they're speaking about is, again, the people who have the genetic integrity, or which is considered royal blood, or the individuals who are naturally passionate because they have the capacity to absorb more light than the average person. You see, so we're going to talk about a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And that, I think that's a key piece that we need to acknowledge in reference to the quote unquote queen passing away. But yeah,
facts.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like I was pointing, because you was talking about that compassion part, and I was just agreeing, like, they damn sure showed you and Get Out the differences between, the fact that we're not the same, you know what I mean? That we do function in a place that they're not functioning in and whatnot. And just speaking of compassion, and just speaking of the way that we feel as a people, like, it would almost be goofy of me to not share, my empathy and my compassion and my condolences about this young man. Like, I literally crashed, my energy yesterday. I was on a high, you know what I mean? We was on, we were having a meeting at the Royal Chamber. The whole weekend was just going crazy. 9/11 was crazy. And then that thing just had me like, wow, like it snapped me back into the reality of this mundane existence and shit. You know what I mean? Like you could be here and just be gone in 1 minute. You feel me?
Yeah.
Based off of decisions that you may have made, like, when you look a restaurant near me, Roscoe's near me on the Google and whatnot, and it shows you all of your options, right? But instead of going to the one 3 miles away, you go to the one 1 mile away. And ultimately, because of your decision of you going to a place that's inherently dangerous, because people are like, nah, that's not the one that you eat at. That one is, that's like gang territory. You know what I mean? But you with your whiz, she hungry. I want to eat. You just trying to settle her stomach and whatnot. and speak her love language, and then you lose your life. God forbid his children was there. You
Oh,
feel me?
don't let that. Yeah,
So
that's.
if we go in there with it, you know,
Mhm.
when are they going to declare a war against gang culture because of the detriment? You can't. I mean, y'all could talk to me about police brutality and everything, but you know, it's been proven that's, you know, niggas have got checkmated on all fronts when it came to that. Y'all not equipped to play that game. Come back in 2030 for that, because y'all supposed to have been in school with the Moors. Y'all supposed to have humbled yourself and get your legalese together and
Right.
not get your ass whooped like that in public. Them white folk, them people stomped our people out, Black Lives Matter and all of that fugazi shit in the last 10 years, maybe since Trayvon in 2012. We've been getting washed. And there's no get back. There's no lick back, nothing whatsoever. They up on the board about 10,000 on you niggas. So I don't even want to have that conversation. You know what I'm talking about? The real conversation is you living with a blood, you living with a crip. You know what I mean? Your child probably took an initiation. You know, your baby daddy is in the gang. You know what I'm saying? Your father was probably in the gang. You know, that shit is hitting home. It's right here. We going outside. You know what I mean? Some of this, you know, it's close to, it's too close for comfort. So
Yeah, that's a
and if
fact.
they knocking off messianic rappers, imagine the messianic gang members that get knocked off who don't have an album or record deal. Because if they're scraping the top of the pot of messianic figureheads in the music industry, imagine how many people they're losing on a lower level that had the potential to be somebody, but these they in a box now.
And we don't even know about them. It's not
Never
televised.
will never be never be televised. We could pray for Ava DuVernay fucking documentary or something. You know what I mean? We could pray that somebody would write a book about the thousands of lives that we're losing yearly, right? And these are messianic, these are potential leaders of the future.
Yeah, and see, that's the unfortunate thing about it. It's like we give praise to the rappers because they're public figures. We may even like them as an artist. They may tug on our heartstrings based on the music that they deliver, but it's like there's people in the streets that are getting murdered every day that actually do the work for the family and for the people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a thing where, you know, we get caught up into, you know, giving our RIPs to certain individuals. We may not even know them personally. And again, we do it because it affects the collective conscious. And, you know, all of us, you know, we know when one of us gets shot on TV, you know, we all come together. You know, Europeans can be individuals, one person, or they get shot and you don't ever see them come together as a collective. But again, that's what, and like I said, in the lecture, we're going to speak about it, but that's the importance of understanding our symbiotic relationship, not only to each other, but on a more higher dimensional level in reference to forces of nature that we can't visibly see, but we can still interact with. So,
Right.
you know, it's not even us per se. We may be some of the most knuckle dragging niggas out ever, you know, but we still have some sort of symbiotic relationship when one of our people get killed. We just naturally gravitate to each other. You know, and that's all in reference to, you know, something very basic, carbon, the carbon-based body. The carbon molecule is the binding molecule. It brings, or what it does is it collects or crystallizes gases that you can't visibly see into something physical. You see, so, you know, again, understanding that, because again, can you imagine with this quote unquote Queen Elizabeth making transition, if this was a black woman, the amount of praise and togetherness that would come together, especially if this woman was demonstrating herself as a royal for real, for real.
Right. Let me
So,
share
you
something
know,
with you.
right.
I feel that every single what they call white supremacist group, from the KKK going down, all of them, from the UK to the USA to, you know, South Africa and other places. Do you know who the fuck this lady was to them? I don't know if y'all understand the level of blow that their quote unquote institution has taken. She's irreplaceable, first of all, right? King Charles is a lame duck king. She's a lame duck queen. But as you can see with her early footage, right, when she didn't look so lizardly, that bitch was putting in work. You know what I'm talking about? When she was a little inconspicuous devil or a little inconspicuous lizard in the 50s and the 60s, she was drilling shit for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She was behind some real campaigns and some real assassinations. And you know, her work, they done put in so much work. She done put in so much work in her early years that in her wrinkled years, she didn't, you know, people are looking for receipts for, you know, where the bodies are buried now. And it's like, nigga, you know, she's standing on a mountain of skulls.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
but when we think about energy, right? When we think about, because what they do to us is when one of our great ones make transition, when one of our messianic ones make transition, God forbid, if one of our leaders die, they feed off of our shame, they feed off of our emotional distraught, they feed off of our mourning, they clown us on Twitter, right? They do troll campaigns. They put out pictures like if there's a police shooting, you know how they did the Trayvon Martin challenge. They start memes and everything. So it's a Luciferian type of tactic to eat. They call it eating the pain, right?
Eating pain, yeah.
Eating the pain, right? Bobby Hemmett wrote a foreword in a book, a very hard to find book about Luciferians. And in this book, they were speaking about the practice of Luciferianism from their standpoint, how they're able to interject themselves into places of supreme sorrow. That's why they have NGOs, non-governmental organizations. They go into disaster zones, or they go into places where atrocities and Holocaust and genocides take place, and they're soaking up that energy. They're feasting off of the sorrow. They're going into children's hospitals. They're going into veteran hospitals. They're going into graveyards. You know, they're everywhere where the sorrow is, everywhere where mourning is, everywhere where that frequency is. And it's almost like a smorgasbord for them.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, and what that's called scientifically is called perfect charge distribution. When you get a group of people collectively who are mourning, like at a funeral per se, you know, that charge, that energy in the air is edible, literally. You know what I'm saying? So you got people who embed that energy to empower themselves. A lot of people don't really understand like what a lot of these rappers, these high level rappers, have to experience behind closed doors, right? So when you have to get in certain societies, you know, you really got to compromise yourself to a certain extent. You know, and that deals into, you know, this is a whole separate conversation, but that goes, of course, into, you know, a lot of these Freemasonic, you know, lodges, higher level lodges, you know what I'm saying? A lot of trauma has to be impeded on certain individuals behind closed doors, because what that does is it fractures the mind. It creates alters or different personalities between these people. And
where you could get
psychological.
triggered.
Yeah, no, I see. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you don't forget trauma. So, you know, perfect movie is Fight Club, you know what I mean, with Tyler Durden, and they show you in Brad Pitt's character is Tyler Durden, but they show you Ed Norton. They show you in the movie how they utilize trauma. You know what I mean? They had an underground fight club, and those black eyes and whatnot, those broken noses and those, you know, broken cheekbones and all of that basically solidifies, that creates altars. The movie was about an alter ego because it wasn't even, you know, dude was in his altar, right? The same movie, the same thing with Revolver, with Ray Liotta, rest in peace. That was dealing with the ego, and you know, we thought it was two people, but it's really him. American Psycho, another one. So all about MK Ultra, you know, utilizing trauma for fracture, you know, to fracture the altar, create the altar. The altar becomes programmable, and these niggas are push button programmable. So now, with the heavy influx of trauma porn and stuff like that, like a World Star, like a Vlad, like these videos that are being artificially pumped and whatnot through the algorithm, that the triggers are in those you know, in that content. You feel me? So it's like when it's almost like they're programming. So people are watching it. They on GMO, you know, fentanyl laced weed and shit. You know what I mean? Or they're on some type of cocktails and shit like that, chemical cocktails, or they're just eating Popeyes and fucking, you know, drinking the $1 iced teas.
That's a fact.
And
Yeah.
they're easily compromised by what they call walk-ins, or they're easily compromised by auto suggestions, or they're easily compromised by subliminals messages and stuff like that, and they get triggered and they go into their altar. You know what I mean? I know people who switch personalities like underwear. You feel me? Just by watching fucking Housewives.
That's a fact. No,
Just by watching reality TV, they like 3 or 4 people. I seen them having conversations with those people.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah,
like it's a panel.
And it's interesting too, because again, like a lot of these individuals have the capacity to mentally escape, because even, at a young age, they were either molested or, raped, and they gained the capacity to be able to literally escape their mind through the process, which allowed them to tap into a whole nother type of entity or personality. Right. So it's an escape mechanism, and it's through transgenerational epigenetic inheritance, where these genes are triggered. And today it's through the music, it's through the atmosphere that we're in, our DNA, of course, responds to our environment. So it's the environment that's conducive for death that we exist in, that continue to trigger these emotions for us to act erratic and do, irrational things. But it's interesting too, because I don't know if you've seen that interview with Adam 22 and Joe Budden.
I did see it. I thought that my spirit automatically said that was a planted, how they say industry plant.
Yeah,
that was a planted,
kind of like
that was orchestrated, right? So kind of like one of those things where Joe Budden was like, let's just get this out of the way. I'm gonna be what they call objective, but I'm not gonna get at you, my nigga. But do your thing. So it was an alley-oop for him to clear his name and shit like that.
You talking about Adam 22 to clear his name?
Right. And Joe Budden was looking out for him.
Okay. Yeah, because he Adam 22 definitely showed his ass, but like it just showed the arrogance, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to these individuals, like we're talking about academic and Vlad TV, like, of course it's all monetized off of Black Death. So, I really feel like he held his ground when it came to that stance. But it also shows the oblivious of some of these individuals. But at the same time, I do feel like they're very much aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? As far as what they're doing, and the position he was taking is, I'm just doing this for the people. I'm doing it for the fans who are interested in this content. Never coming back and recognizing just the morality in that, the logic in that. It was just all in reference to, entertaining the people,
it's giving them I'm giving Antoinette her cake. They said feed them cake. So these niggas, I'm giving them cake.
Regardless.
There was a Vlad interview where he went after Tariq Nasheed, right? He tried to play him, right? And was like, I had the brother Tariq Nasheed on my show, and he had an argument with Tommy Sotomayor. And after that, I decided I'm not doing this genre anymore. I'm not fucking with these people anymore, which was a bold-faced lie, because he had about 3 or 4 charlatans from our community on his show after that. Then, to add insult to injury, his next upload after the video that he put out saying that I'm not dealing with, he basically was he didn't want to say conscious, but he said every single thing around besides saying I don't fuck with the conscious community. Then 2 days later, he did an upload with the leader of the Aryan Nation.
That's obviously what he's saying.
So he's exposing, right? He's humanizing the Aryan Nation to a Black audience, right? This is Vlad TV. You're uploading the leader of the Aryan Nation interview. You're not when you're interviewing him, you're not debating him. You're not being objective. You're not getting at him. You're not saying how many niggas did y'all kill in the yard. He's normalizing him, humanizing him, and making him acceptable to a populace of socially awkward people who don't know what the fuck that means.
That's a fact.
Then he's giving you mafia bosses. Then he gave us Sammy the Bull. Then he gave us another nigga who was a hitman. They all rats, though, by the way. They all turned snake. It's just all kind of cross.
Yeah,
And that's their cop out. The people want it. Look at our numbers.
yeah,
I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah,
There's another dude who does the documentaries on the drill rappers, right? He's from the UK. Trap Lore is a channel.
okay.
He did a 3-hour. I'm talking about he done solved 8,000 murders on this documentary, right? And he says it's public knowledge. I'm not snitching. I'm just putting together what's out there, and I'm giving it to y'all in a documentary, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. But why doesn't Mumia have a documentary?
Right.
Why you niggas can't stitch together, the revolutionary works of a Nipsey Hussle? What made you not stitch together the works of the Panthers, who they put in a box for 40 years? Because y'all like talking to people that went through the prisons and whatnot. You never interviewed no political prisoners to speak about their their victories and whatnot, to give out their ideology. Remember, it's about narrative. The underlying principle in this whole thing is that a narrative is being established right underneath our noses, and the way that they wash their hands from Empire, the record label, they have 500 artists, but their main money getters is those 100 fucking drill rappers and gangster rappers, and they know that ideas and concepts are being shared by each one. If they got 100 drill rappers, they know that each one of those rappers have a commonality in their ideas and concepts, right? We're promoting no conflict resolution, right? If you beef with a nigga, you got to kill him, right? There's no conflict resolution in drill rap, right? There's no conflict resolution. We can never get along. There can never be peace. That's the mentality. That's the idea and the concept of drill rapper that spilled over into regular nigga life. Why do I and I could show and prove it, because even and I'm in Atlanta, right? I did my research on homicides last year. Road rage homicides are the number 2 leading cause of gun homicides in Atlanta. What does that mean? That means that they don't got conflict resolution. So even on a highway, if a nigga cuts you off, or they getting killed on a highway, fam, because they eroded the conflict resolution through the music. So now, then the number 1 cause of killing in Atlanta is arguments. I can't argue with you. Yeah, argument.
Yeah, it got to be a get back. Like, there was a video of JT, one of the members on City Girls. She had snatched the cell phone out of a fan's hand because she didn't want her picture taken or something like that. In the comments, people were leaving comments like, "Oh, she would have took my phone, it would have been up." Like, it's no solution, no like talking it out. It's just up off the rip. Like, that's just what it is. But like you said, this is why they don't speak on the Black Panthers and create documentaries, because that will then create the narrative in reference to conflict solutions. You see, it's a spoken language that's being given to the people, that's tied into a narrative. And when you work off the grid of the collective conscious and continue to deliver that narrative, that's what they're going to buy into. Subconsciously, consciously, it's all going to play out. You know what I'm saying? So
even
Vlad is he's a digital vampire. That's what he's doing. He's
Isfit. It's called Isfit. He's creating Isfit, right? He's a disagreeable, right?
He's a disagreeable, right.
He's a disagreeable without necessarily being disagreeable, because he learned he's participating in what is called yellow journalism. He is smarter than the ones that he interviews. That's something that, is sad to even admit that. However, 3% of his guests may be wiser than him, or more cunning than him, or more savvy than him, because he's still playing chess with these niggas, right? The 97% of his quote unquote, that's why he decides to punch down, and he's not going to bring niggas in the room to sharpen than him. He made that conscious decision after the Lord Jamar dust up. He's like, yeah, I'm going to just fuck with niggas on Boosie's level all the way down.
All the way down. But that's what Joe Budden's co-host was trying to get to Adam 22. It's like, aren't you aware, though, that most of these individuals lack a little bit of intelligence? Like, they'll go on the platform and start spilling all the information, start snitching on everybody, because they're not too savvy when it comes to being smart.
Look, the Jerry Springer business model. right? The Jerry Springer, right? Who is a small hat, who the younger small hats, they learned from him, right? The other small hats learned from Jerry and a few others. Jerry Springer was a senator. Do you know that? He was a politician, right? Before he got into talk shows.
That's wild. I didn't know that. That's wild.
So a wise man
can
play a fool, but a fool cannot play a wise man. These are not dumb people, right? Vlad, I bet you when you do the research, they went to college, they have some sort of education and some sort of quote unquote field of communication and psychology.
Okay?
Right. So they're playing dumb. They're dumbing themselves down to be comfortable around the knuckle draggers who henceforth feel comfortable, and then they start spilling the beans. Andy Cohen on Bravo, who's the brainchild behind the Housewives, right? Simon from American Idol. All of these are smart, conniving small hats, right? And they're producers who write the scripts, and all of these other people who are behind the scenes cutting up all of this footage and to establish narrative. They are establishing narrative, ideas and concepts that permeate and shape the culture, because people seem like, case in point, the narrative in the earlier days of the Housewives was a certain type of look, right? They merged it with the pornography look, long weave, cheap ass fucking, Fashion Nova type shit. It started with Flavor of Love, where he was naming the girls these asinine names and whatnot. But when you juxtapose them with Pinky and them, there was no difference in their aesthetics, right? Exactly. So then the video vixen girls, they also picked up the same aesthetics. Then they married that aesthetics with the reality TV. So Basketball Wives, Housewives, Black Ink, all of these women were almost identical to the fucking dots and the women that were on the lower rungs of society. Then they also established no conflict resolution amongst Black women. The minute they start hee-hawing, catcalling, and start, arguing and whatnot, bottles is flying, weaves is getting snatched. You know what I mean? They having dust ups, and you seeing their panties and shit. You know what I'm talking about? And they're the Bad Girls Club and all of that. You know what I mean? They were out there mandingo wrestling, right? So now when you see young women get into these scuff ups at the club, at Waffle House, at Burger King, right? At their high school, right? At the fucking, wherever, at the bus stop, they go right into reality show conflict resolution. I'm popping off. I'm snatching weaves. I mean, they've been fighting. I got an older sister. She used to get busy back in the days. That shit had me fucked up. I didn't even know women were so violent. However, it's to the point where it's unwritten at this point. You know what I mean? You can see the influence through the narration. Now, so they've established a narrative in Black America through our women and our men. They've ran with that. They're clones of Nene. They're clones of Candy. They're clones of New York. They're fucking clones of Jocelyn.
That's a bomb. That's a bomb. What did Lil Wayne say God did? He said he created the aesthetic, something like that.
Tattoos, face tats.
He created
long dreads and face tats.
He created a whole narrative. You see,
he's
everybody
the apex. He's an apex.
He's an apex.
Right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Tattoos and face tats. Yeah, Ray J exposed the Kardashians. Exactly. Protect Ray J at all costs, because with his daughter, right? And I'm sure, whatever he's going through, he's like, fuck it. I got to put it out there that this shit is all a fucking narrative. The older, Mama Kardashian, right? The Mama Witch, she was the one who meticulously created a narrative. This narrative has grown arms like an octopus and is fitting other agendas now, like flipping the husband into a woman, right?
Well, what you even see too. I mean, they remove all the family-oriented shows like Red. What did they have? Rev Run. Was it Rev Run who had Whose House? Is it called
Yeah,
Whose House?
Reverend Run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had
Run's
his
house.
show. Yeah, Terry Crews even had a little
T.I.
yeah, all of the T.I. Yeah. So it's again, we're talking about narratives because, like we said, when you buy into these concepts, and this is what white folks get it twisted at, because this is their only reference point to how we carry ourselves. So when you see Bad Girls Club, when you hear the music, etc., that's off the rip what they're buying into, and Vlad and all of them know that. So what they're gonna do is perpetuate that narrative, and we buy into that, we look into that, and we like, oh shit, well that's how they work, that's how they move.
So it's a new trope. Henceforth, why when the police get right out the car, they starting to mace women now. They're gonna hit you with the taser, or they run up on you and they snuff you, right? That is the result of them watching the reality shows and being programmed with the narrative throughout. Their wives are watching it. They don't watch it probably, but their daughters are watching it, or their family is watching it, or at the precinct, they're clowning you niggas, and they got World Star on, and all of these are the new minstrel shows. So the new trope or the new stereotype is being boosted, and is the validity of it is being stamped through these podcasts of these pale people who have no problem pushing this fucking narrative of our people being sophisticated savages.
To this day.
I'm talking about.
To this day.
And with all of the bodies dropping, they consecrated their spells on Vlad, because every time one of the niggas get killed, he'll throw the flashback video up to show you, I got this nigga in a mason jar somewhere. I got him. I got the interview. We cooking, right? So when niggas start dying like flies, and then they'll play, oh, I don't know why this, like academics, this has to stop in our communities. I don't know why this is happening. I'm a square. I'm not into any of this. Coming up next, I'm gonna review Little Durk's album. Yeah, I'm a square. I'm not into none of this stuff. I don't perpetuate any of this violence. Catch me on Call of Duty, guys. I'm on Twitch killing niggas. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, that double talk.
Double talk. It's double consciousness. It's double talk. It is part of the English language that creates mental health issues. Because you, the nigga listening to the double talk, you have cognitive dissonance because you like, he loves us, he's here for us, and no, he's not here for us. Wait a minute, no, he's not in his trick bag. You're in the trick bag as the consumer. You're in the trick bag. Right? Yeah. Because they're establishing a narrative that you have not stood over. You didn't. I'm establishing a narrative for Adam 22, Vlad TV, so that way they don't got power over me. I could watch that shit because I've established what the narrative is, and I've taken it back. And I'm like, no, you niggas is spell. Yeah, y'all are spell casting. You're spirit cooking, because never once in the history of man did Vlad TV put on the Small Hat Mafia, right? He didn't show you what they didn't come with the with their skeletons.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Right. He didn't interview the rabbis. Right. You know what I mean? Adam 22, they didn't go into the Hasidic community. They not interviewing the Mossad. They not interviewing the people that's really drilling. They didn't interview Fauci. So we keep falling for this. They're painting us with a paintbrush. It benefits them.
And the crazy thing about it is historically proven that these individuals that are perpetuating this narrative have historical truth in the atrocities that they put on original people for hundreds of years. So that's what's so crazy, is because, again, this concept of pushing the narrative to make the melanated people look a certain way is all based on, white inferiority, but it's holding up the system, because Europeans never want to give up the remote controller. They'll be friends with you, they'll smile at you, but when it comes to talking about these issues, this is where they get really uncomfortable. And it's like, well, white folks, they just need education. It's like, how much more education do they need? Just be a good person. They don't need no
education about us.
You know what I'm saying?
We used to say shit like that. Yeah, they're not finna learn about Dr. Sabi. They don't want to learn about the good in you.
Right.
You niggas think, oh no, we're just gonna teach them about us. It's lies, nigga, stuff a lie. They don't want to hear that shit. Do you think they don't know it?
That's a fact. See, and we play
They-
dumb. Like we act like,
Yes.
and that's where it's like, oh no, they just, they white folks. They don't need the information. But again, if it comes to a criminal situation, a civil situation where a crime is done, automatically that person is going to jail, prison, etc. But when there's a situation where there's a racist, or say if somebody wrote nigger on the car, and automatically it's like, oh well, that person they're just unaware, they just need educated, and it's like that situation isn't treated like a regular crime. It's like white folks need education, and it's like there's no more education that's needed. It's
no more.
It's just about. Yeah,
right. Because they're not gonna say Al-Kibalon is a master teacher. They're not gonna. I don't see them saying, "Yo, this brother is highly intelligent." Children that are watching this, teenagers, instead of pursuing hoop dreams, you need to pursue the fucking dream to be a master teacher, right? But this, I'm gonna throw this one out.
That's how we kill that narrative. I know.
Well, then we just have to create the opposing. We have to become the antagonist to the protagonist. We got to become the counter. We have to create a counter, because I'm ready to do an episode of not Vlad TV, but what's the black version?
I'm thinking
Trav TV or something. I don't know. Fucking. But I want to hit an interview where they interview Queen Elizabeth about her bodies.
Facts.
To this day.
I want to see that bitch sit on the couch.
To this day.
Talk about her conquest. I want the King Leopold interview. You know what I'm talking about? I want the King Leopold interview. I want the Elizabeth, the first interview, her mama. I want to hear the Hernando Cortez Vlad interview. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, give us a rundown, Christopher Columbus, when you was chopping those hands off of them little babies and whatnot. How did it feel? Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. Let me roll up.
Yeah, no.
Man, I peed on myself when I did it. It was so good.
No, but like that's what I'm saying. Like even with myself, like I'm taking it upon myself to really carve my own space within this community aesthetically, because again, we can still appease to certain individuals who live a certain lifestyle that are on the lower rungs. So like even with me, like I want to begin to start teaching at arenas, the same aesthetic that you bring a rapper on when you got lights, you got smoke, you got the whole aesthetic, you got the pull up pyro, everything. Yeah, but he coming in with some knowledge. He coming in, the performance is a lecture based, but he's coming in with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So that we got to begin to change the narrative. Create a whole aesthetic, a complete, switch the minds of our people. But and see, that's what kills me too, because I used to go into these doctor's offices when I used to take my kids there or whatever, and for what do you call those? I don't know.
Checkups.
A checkup, like a regular checkup. And I would just do it strategically. I'll do it on purpose. I'll use certain languages because I'll understand what they're talking about, but I'll overeducate them to be like, oh my goodness, like what do you do? Like what do you do for a living? I'm just like, I just study. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you go, and they're like, you go to the library? Like, what is it? What type of books are you reading? So it's flabbergasting to them for me to outsmart them, because it's like, oh, well, wait a minute, this black man is, but to me, again, I'm doing it specifically because I'm switching the narrative up. I can walk in there with an LA Dodgers hat on and come out with all of them looking at me as I'm walking through the lobby, because it's like I literally just exposed the lack of intelligence that these individuals have. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about really imprinting ourselves, even in certain doors. Like me going to school for mechatronic engineering, when I speak to these professors, like I speak a certain way, and I'm educating them at the end of the day. So it's like,
of course you are.
I didn't hear about that physics. Oh man, well, okay, well, I'm gonna have to look into that a little more, stuff like that. So
because you overly qualified,
right? So it's all about changing the narrative. That's really what it is,
right? So we have the tools to do that. For those that are listening to this broadcast, we have the talent in place. I just got off of a mountain, y'all, on Sunday, and I was surrounded by some of the most beautiful, powerful people that that I've been around in a very long time. Like, you know, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, but this ain't the end all be all. It's very lit out here. You know, we charging up the crystal, we're charging the grid up, but it's lit in other places. And you know, when we come together, right? That's when our power is actualized. Yeah, we're powerful individually, but I could show you, and you'll see it when we put our music video out, and we'll do other things. You'll see it when you go on Black Magic 363 and watch the recap, part 1 and 2, right? When we were on Stone Mountain, it's on Black Magic 363. You'll see the power of the collective versus if it was just one person on that mountain talking that day, right? And we will, as we have reestablished a narrative, we've changed the narrative, not just me. When I say we, I'm speaking of a collective, right? I'm not excluding anybody who put in work. I don't care if you was working for one day and got fired on your day off. You know, you still are part of the collective, and you're working this shit, and you're working to change narratives, because it's the ideas, the hearts and minds of the people that really matter at the end of the day. You got to start there. You know what I mean? You can start there. They'll lie to you to your face and tell you all kind of shit. If somebody owns their hearts and their minds, that's like a cheating husband. You know what I mean? So the people are fickle because you don't have their hearts and their minds. Somebody else, the little Dirk does, nigga. Little Dirk got their hearts and their minds. Nigga, Adam 22. You know what I'm saying? You know, the motherfucking Harry Styles, niggas wearing skirts. Young Thug, Jeffrey got their hearts and their minds. They just like you because you know, you keep them fucking entertained during lunch hours.
That's a fact. And that's just to double back and come back around with it. Like I was speaking at the beginning, like a body polis really represents the physical body in a certain seat of power, because that magnetic flux in those areas based on the orientation of the architecture on those ley lines really gives this person a literal sense of power energy wise. So again, it's based on the king's emotions, which impedes on the minds and impresses on the minds of the masses, which then their moral compass naturally follows. So, you know, it behooves me to have an individual like quote unquote Queen Elizabeth in a seat of power. Like that's completely like ass backwards. You know what I'm saying? Just on a biological scientific perspective. So, you know, like
I don't mean to cut your wisdom. They said that the patriarch fucked the world up. They said that the patriarchy took over. They said that this is a man's world, and women need to get back in control and run things. But nobody mentioned the fact that a woman was running the world. There's nobody more powerful on this planet in what we call European geopolitical structure. There was no person. You can't name me a person. There's no man that they rolled out of the fucking caves of Europe. There's no man, none, since we've been alive. Nobody. They've all been servants because they were elected. They came and went. They were expendable. She was the one running it. It was hers, nobody else. Let's stop with the bullshit. I'm not here for intellectual masturbations. I chose violence, nigga. I'll wake up and choose. Like, let's stop playing. Let's get right to it, my niggas. She was running this shit. It was hers. She owns your stock. She owns your birth certificates. She owns your social security card. She owns the real estate. She owns the diamond mines, the gold mines. What are you talking about? She owns the ports.
And that's and that's why it's so important for our people to really.
Now they saying she's probably a man. But, look how. Now I'm just saying. Look how. She's probably a man. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, might be shit. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, that's why it's so important for our people really to understand power, like power, specific power. You know, because you know, like you said, I mean, the concept of an individual like her, you know, being in a seat of power has to be questioned first and foremost. I mean, it has to be questioned. And it was a thought that I had, but I'd rather save that, you know, for the lecture. You know, not to get too sciencey, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, I think again, it's all in reference to changing the narrative, you know, really. And with this quote unquote queen, you know, making transition, it's really our time to begin to start tying ourselves into the concept, of what Black people really represent in totality historically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Because
that
like I
that's what we got
said,
to start doing.
right, like the great divine speaks through signs, we are about to enter into a cycle where the hearts and the minds of Black people are now going to, we're going to be inundated with depictions of Black women as kings and queens or
Hmm.
royalty, right? The movie The Woman King, that's going to start the campaign.
That's a
Black
whole
Panther
narrative.
part, yeah, Black Panther Part 2 is going to continue it. And there's another movie that I saw, I forgot the name of that, and that's depicting Black royalty and whatnot. So like Sister Myra Moore said on Black Magic 363 about Mama Earth and Mother Universe,
Hmm.
the Aquarian age that we've been ushered into. We're here now. It is y'all time. It is definitely your time. I brought the thing up about Queen Elizabeth, and that's not to be divisive, but that's just to say that this false lizard is off of the throne. The throne is vacant. The throne was vacant when she was sitting on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, facts.
But you know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
not here right now. Her memory or whatever the fuck, and don't ever bring up Meghan Markle's name around me. I'll get violent. You know what I'm saying? That's not it right there. Don't
That's
even
not
play
it.
with me. That ain't it.
Not
Stop
it.
playing and look at yourself. Before you even say her weird ass name, look at yourself in the mirror. You got a better chance of taking a fucking throne than she does. You
That's
know
a
what I'm
fact.
talking about? But
That's a
that throne is vacant, and that throne that all set sits on, that's Yah throne. You know what I'm
hmm
saying?
hmm
That's Yah throne. And to be
hmm
honest with you, as a divine masculine, I'm ready to, I'm for the right ones, for the, because it's in chess, the queen is the most powerful piece. Somebody said it was the king. I beg to differ.
hmm
But
hmm
the kings, we should figure out who are the queens on this chessboard that deserve our protection, that need our protection, and that are holding the motherfucking keys to the thrones. And we need to help place them on that.
Yeah, and like I said, soon as we come out the womb, we come out of the black hole, we come out the womb head first, we're immediately crowned as a king or queen. Immediately. This
Right.
physical existence, because we literally dictate what moves and shakes within this realm. But as soon as we come out the womb, we set on our set or the throne, qualified as a king or queen, but immediately without any level of precognition or somebody telling us verbally to
Right.
do it, we are naturally guided to the breast.
To the
Uh,
breast to
you know,
suckle.
in our reference point is the black hole, which is the galactic center, in the Milky Way, but also too, we're fed the galactose, which runs synonymous with galaxy, and fed the milk, which is the galactose, which runs synonymous with Milky Way. But I've
Mm,
always said that galactose is what maintains the integrity of the consciousness of the baby so that they don't completely forget who they were prior to incarnating into this physical reality.
right.
So, we have to understand that immediately as we come out the womb, we have a specific agenda and a narrative to write about ourselves. But if we allow these individuals to continue to completely take the script, and write it from their perspective, shit, you know,
It's
like
gonna
you
get
said,
ugly.
down the line, we're going to see like long white tees in museums and, baggy Jabot jeans and shit like that. Like, so, we got to
Facts.
really
You
start
niggas face
getting a,
tats and shit.
yeah, yeah, getting a grip on our story. And this is where it starts. Conversations like these, KTL University, lectures that we'll be having September 15th to really give you guys a perspective, not only scientifically, but just historically and, cosmically, how we are naturally representatives of this whole entire narrative, this whole cosmic script, so
Super
it's
facts.
it's it's definitely going to be a very good build of one of the most, if not the most important, lectures this year. And yeah, it runs synonymous with everything that's taking place right now.
Yes, indeed, y'all. KTLUniversity.com for your tickets. That is receipts with a sweet technique. That is September the 15th, which is Thursday, right down the block. Thursday, 2 days from now, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We will be recording the lecture on Zoom. You'll have access to it anytime that you feel that you need access to it. No worries. Yeah, man. This is our 4th installment. And this one right here, as you can see with the news cycle and with everything that's going on around us, this is imperative. This is on time. It's timely, right? It is in divine timing. I shade to the ancestors for always lining it up and making sure that they they put us in the right time to do the right things. And we look forward to definitely seeing y'all. Like I said, when I see people in the building when we do these lectures, it's like it's a verification that the work is worth it. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling, you know what I'm saying, to see our master teachers appreciate it just by your presence. You know what I mean? Just by your presence. That's all we ask of y'all, is to be there when we're there, because we're not we're not doing this for our own edification. We're doing this because there is a shift taking place. There's a change going on, and people are looking for some answers. And we have the research and we have the data, and we're providing that for you. Okay? We're providing that for you. So for the family that was on Stone Mountain that came through with us, I want to say I really appreciate y'all. We're going to be doing more stuff coming up. People are watching this, and I'm sure that they feel like, damn, I'm not able to do stuff like this. My following don't take me that serious that they could wake up at 6 a.m. and meet me on a Sunday. You feel me? And climb 1 mile upward, you know what I mean? And in the fog and in the rain and whatnot to basically tap in. And then we brought the fucking sun out. Hold on.
To this day.
Yeah. Talk about it.
To this day.
Talk about it.
You can't make that happen. The only thing that can make that happen is spirit. So we didn't go up there playing around with money and whatnot to try to fucking show off. We didn't go up there playing around with trinkets and whatnot, try to stun on you with some diamonds and some stupid shit. We didn't go up there and try to front on you or stun on you. We didn't go up there and make you feel lesser than. We went up there as a motherfucking collective, right? On 9/11 to pay homage to Ethiopia and all of the ancestors and shit like that. And we brought the fucking sun out and we stopped the rain from falling on our heads, bro.
That's a fact.
And
That's
we
a
did
fact.
that. Yeah, we did that with a meditation. We did that with sound frequency, and we did it in love. So for anybody to say that that's a cult and whatnot, you damn right it's a fucking cult. It's culture. It's what you can't do and what you ain't never did and what you never gonna do. How about that? So I would hate me too. You know what Jay-Z said? Yeah, I would hate me too. It's niggas sitting around that ain't never did nothing in this community as a collective since they've been in this community. They only exist through your phones. It's niggas in Atlanta that never came outside and put Atlanta together and was watching Atlanta fall apart.
To this day. To this day.
And be claiming how you claim that you care something about a city, and when you in that city, you're not changing that city. Every city that I go to, I change.
Talk about it.
I work the grid, yo. Every city that I go to, I raise the frequency. I don't give a fuck where you place me. If they put me in motherfucking Afghanistan, I would have ended the war.
Talk about
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, wherever I go, I raise the frequency. I don't make the murder rate start jumping and whatnot. You gotta question these teachers or these people who claim that they tapped in. How are they affecting the ionosphere? How are they affecting the dialectic field? My nigga, we got more people moving to Atlanta just off of climbing a fucking mountain, right? Then the rappers was bringing the killers and the drug dealers and the strippers and the prostitutes and the sex traffickers to Atlanta. We like, yo, we demonstrating so we could bring the healers and the shamans. I had somebody pack, they was like, I'm not going home. This nigga, bro, he came from Chicago. He did the Harlem Night Sunshine phone call. Hello, babe.
Yeah.
Sell the house. He was like, I'm not. He was like, I'll
Yeah.
work with you through Zoom. I'm not coming back.
But look, yeah, that type of shit really makes that happen because it's through morphic resonance. When you are demonstrating yourself as a god in real time, that energy is felt. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said before, it's different when you meet certain people like myself or Red, Blue in person because the energy, you feel the physical energy. It's different. You know what I'm saying? People are used to seeing us on camera, but that's my goal, not to literally meet everybody, but I really want to emanate that energy because that literally changes, the electricity in the room in a good way. You know what I'm saying? So, it's all about real time demonstration and meeting up in person.
That's the
And
caveat to
doing the
all of
work.
this. Right. The caveat to all of this sacrifice that we make is ultimately the physical manifestation of being in each other's presence. Right. That's why we utilize the internet or these computers. I don't even like being on this shit like I used to back in the days. You feel me? If somebody were to say, would you rather be around 100 people in real life or 100 people on a fucking or 1,000 people on the internet? I'm going to be around 100 real people because I need real energy. I need real interactions. I need real conversations. You feel me? Shout out to Jefferson in the building. You know what I mean? Like I need real camaraderie. I need to touch it and feel it and smell it and taste it. Like I live in the real world. When these phones go off, I still got to deal with reality. So that's where I'm most so into the reality. And people saw what reality is really like. So we doing all of this with the objective to do it bigger, bro. This is not the end all be all. This is only the beginning. But I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here, man. I got shit that I gotta take care of. We might do something later on today, me and Blue Pill for a real recap or full recap. We might do it on Black Magic. Who knows? Go and watch the video though, by any means necessary. Y'all don't really need to hear me. You need to see it.
No,
and then you need to experience it one day. It's very electric.
Yeah,
it was very electric. You know what I mean? The spirit was moving through many people up there. So Black Magic 363 is where the footage is. You won't miss it when you go in there. You'll see it. When on Thursday, right, we have our Kibalon pulling up for our lecture at 7 p.m. That's on the Third Eye Thursday. I was gonna open the lines. I'm like I said, if we come back later, I might do that. I'm even contemplating making Third Eye Thursday show exclusively an open line show, right? Yeah, because it's time to begin to hear from the people, the power. Look, the talent pool that's out there, right? The network and the network. I want to actualize the net worth of my network. So it's time to open up the floodgates and let y'all, let your voices be heard in your vision or your visions or your image to be seen. And I'm going to be a conduit to that. So when we get past this class on Thursday, maybe next Thursday, we'll be getting the beginning of our new business model for Third Eye Thursdays, which is going to be an open platform to see those. Your third eye got to be open though, in order for you to get up here. You feel me? You gotta have some third eye talk. We're not doing no mundane shit.
Yeah,
but
and I want to say real quick before we close out, all the engineers and scientists, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Like again, we're in the business of presenting certain individuals with a skill or a talent. You know what I'm saying? So, those who are familiar with some of the terms that I throw out, or even like I said, got an engineering backing. You know what I'm saying? Holla at me, and again, we're gonna start showing that demonstration in real time as far as bringing people on the platform. So, that's an open invitation. So reach out to me via IG for those who are interested in doing that type of work.
Yes, real quick, I'm gonna just read the description. This is the website, KTLUniversity.com. Receipts with a sweet technique. All right. In this class, we will present the prophetic revelations delivered by Al-Kibalan 44 pre-summer solstice, meaning that he got up here before the summer started and he was talking to his shit about what the fuck the summer was going to be about. And that's what the summer was about. The cosmic downloads that came via the solar flares will be discussed. Getting in alignment with nature requires that we understand science fall and winter are here. So prepare for what's going to play out. The technique is scientific, but don't sweat it because victory is sweet, y'all. Class is in session.
To this day.
All right.
To this day.
So with that being said, I'm going to end it with this song. We got the Facts Anthem. Shout out to Source Guard, Survey, Blue Pillar, everybody that's pushing that Facts Initiative. You know what I mean? Go ahead and hit the Cash App. Show some love. All right? Show some support. You know what I'm talking about? What is your Cash App, Al-Kibalon? Let me go ahead and put that in there as well.
It's $ Al-Kibalon 44. $ Al-Kibalon 44.
I'm put that on the ticker. I show Al-Kibalon some love as well. The brother puts in monumental work. You know what I mean? A father of 3, right?
4.
A father of 4.
To this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
Shout out all of the fathers out there. We see you. You know what I mean? We see you. We doing this for the fathers, the responsible fathers that are handling their BI and whatnot, and the mothers. We want to make this shit easier on your shoulders, okay? And for the future parents and whatnot, we want to create opportunities and options for y'all so y'all can speed that shit up, okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna end this with the Facts Anthem. Like I said, if I see y'all tonight, just have your notifications on. You'll hear about it with the ding ding and whatnot. If not, you'll hear about it in the motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, in the whirlwinds. But yeah, this is the Facts Anthems. Peace.
Peace.
Facts.
To this day. To this day.
Okay. The art, the globe. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grand, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts. Okay, we gon' put this shit on our back. Got out the eggs, put it in the rest. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. We in your city, pull up where we at.
And that's facts though, I talk factos. That's J Babe, I go Astro. Floating focused on my cash flow. We plant star seeds to make the grass grow. I'm a real floater, I do what I wanna. Stacking the winter, sunbathing the summer. My chakras align and I shock them like Blanc. Only pope with your knowledge, your nigga is pop.
At these events, I'm a god to my people. Got out the streets, yeah, we dodging a Rico. Game of roulette, I'm a casino, the game wasn't fair, yeah, the odds wasn't equal. Squad got the Chico, my squad got the Chico. Came in a drought, yeah, they starving the people. Blaming and doubt, make it harder to eat, yo. Not a placebo, this not a placebo.
The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grand, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Found out the eggs, put it in the rest. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. We in your city, pull up where we at.
Started in Richmond, art in my district. Heart of the mystics, started for biscuits. Father the isfits, martyr the misfits. God is my witness, God on my hit list. Moving the weight, we started with fitness. Moving with State Street, art of the richest. Give me the blues, my heart is in Memphis. It's part of adventure, started my venture. The F is for food, the A is for art. The C is for clothes, I'm playing my part. T is for check, I'm playing it smart. S is for shelter, I stay in the park. Acres or acres get lost in the dark. We playing a part, we playing it smart. Facts. Okay.
To this day. To this day.